So what is scroll view? So UI scroll view is the API class to use for scroll view. The scroll view and view, there are the UI view and scroll view, they are the two classes. UI scroll view is a subclass of UI view, but the functionality which UI scroll view provides with can be loaded more content within a frame. So with scrolling, so when you talk about UI view will have a frame. So that frame will be used to display some content. But if the content is more, the UI view will hide the content which exceeds the frame. But when coming to the scroll view, there are two properties which works for to display the content which exceeds the frame. So either width-wise or height-wise. So we have seen yesterday about UI label. So when the text is exceeds the width of UI label, the text is trimmed a trail, like the tail trim, and we have seen head trim and center trimming we have seen yesterday. So these trims will happen when the text is exceeds the width or height. But in scroll view, when the content is exceeds the frame of a scroll view, the scroll view provides two properties. One is content size. The size can be horizontally big from the frame, or the size can be vertically higher compared to the frame height. So if the content size height is bigger than the frame height, then the scrolling will happen vertically. If the content size is more than the frame width, then the scrolling will happen horizontally. So the scroll view is having a one more property called content size. So this content size property gives a behavior for scroll view to scroll the content. So I hope the difference you might have observed that what's the basic difference from a scroll view to UI view. So UI view, there is no content size. Whatever the size you want to display which fits for the frame, that will be displayed and visible. So whatever the text or content which exceeds the frame size or height, the content will be hidden or overridden, like it will be hidden. So but when coming to the scroll view, if the content is exceeds the frame width or height, by using the content size, we can able to scroll the content which is overflow either vertically or horizontally. If the content is more with towards the height from the frame height, it is called vertical scroll view. If the content is moving, if the content is more with respect to the horizontal, with respect to the frame width, if the width of the frame, for example, if the width is 200 for any frame, let's take the content is 600, then it looks like a horizontal, it's a horizontal scroll. So there are two scrollings we can see. If the scrolling is vertical, then we'll call it like a vertical scroll. If the scrolling is horizontal, we'll call it like a horizontal scrolls. Horizontal scrolls are defined based on the width. The vertical scrolls defined based on the height of the content. So here the scroll view, so we can calculate the pages in the sense, if the content size is 2 times for the frame, then the scroll view is having 2 pages. If the content is 2 times, like it's depends on the frame width. For example, frame width is 200 but the content width is 600, then we can say the scroll view is having 3 pages. So 3 pages of data has been displayed in the scroll view. If the user scrolls, then we can see the page by page. So the scrolling can be handled with the help of UI scroll view delegate protocol. So for the scroll view, we have a protocols, that is called one protocol we have, that is called UI scroll view delegate protocol. So this delegate protocol will have a certain methods So if we override, if any scroll view subclass UI if a scroll view is attached to any of the UI view controller, if there is some content which you needs to control, then we have to inherit the UI scroll view delegate protocol. So the UI scroll view delegate protocol is having certain methods which gives the control when the user scrolls the scroll view or when the user is zoomed the content inside of a scroll view. So if is there any image or if there is any view which is attached to the scroll view, if the user is zooming the view, we can able to identify with the help of the UI scroll view delegate methods. So these delegate methods will give a control events or a notifications when there is a certain event is related to scroll, or if the scroll was happen, or if the zoom is happen, or so it's like, so is there any kind of scroll event is happens, then we can able to identify with this UI scroll view delegate methods. For example, the user is scrolled the scroll view, so now the scroll view is ready to stop the scrolling. So in that scenarios, there will be one notified method which UI scroll view delegate protocol provides. If we override those method, we can able to identify the event when the scroll view is ready to stop. So like we have there are events or notification methods, the scroll view delegate methods which notifies when the event is ready to stop, or after the event is stopped. Once the event is stopped successfully, either post the action or ready to finish the action, we can get identified with certain methods by the UI scroll view delegate. So let's see the what the UI scroll view delegate methods. What are the UI scroll view delegate methods? So we'll look into that. So how to declare the scroll view programmatically, we'll see now. If you open a scroll view, let's see. So how the scroll view is simply, for example, we have one image, I created one image and added to the window, there is another image. So we created two image views and now I define the scroll view. If you see that every our basic three principles: object creation, providing the frame, and attach it into view. So here we created an object with a frame for the scroll view. So after that, the difference for a scroll view and a UI view is the content size. Thus, you have to define the scroll view content size. What is the content? How much content the scroll view can handle? So that we have to define the content size. Here we provided the content size. So whatever the frame, the scroll view frame is having, the width we are giving the content width as 2 times for the frame width, and content height we are giving same as like your frame height. If your frame height is equal to your content height, then there is no vertical scrolling. If your content width is higher than the frame width, then this scroll view is having a horizontal scroll. So then we can identify the content size width is higher. So then let's see. So the scroll view, now we want to add the views to the scroll view. So directly simply you can add with add subview method, attached one image view, and later we added another image view. So two image views are added to the scroll view, but the scroll view frames are horizontally twice. The frame is one, but the area is 2 times for the width of the frame. For example, if we look at graphically, so this is your UI scroll view frame. So the content width what we defined is 2 times for this frame. Let's say this is one time and this is the second time. So this is your content width. So content width is 2 times for the frame. So The width you can, this is 0 0 and ends with, if it is 200 by 200, then it will become a 400 by 200, then 400 width and 200 height. So we can fit two frames. So whatever you see, like the two frames content can be attached to your scroll view. For example, there are two image views. Now let's take, I have two image views. So this is, for example, this is, let's take, there are the two image views. So this is one image view and this is one image view. For example, let's take, these are the two image views. Change some color. Not getting any color. Change the color, but okay, fine. So this is image 1, let's say this is image 2. So now there are the two images. So this is my scroll view frame. So this is scroll view content size. The size, the content width is 2 times for the frame width. So I have two image views. So now I want to add this image view with same. Here you have to define what is the positions of the frame view that we are attaching, that we need to keep in mind. For example, the scroll view frame, scroll view frame is 0 0 origin and 200 by 200, 200 width and 200 height. Then image view 1, I want to add two image views. Image view 1 frame, it starts from 0 0 and 200 by 200. Then the first frame, so this content, out of this whole content size, the first part from 0 0 to 200 by 200, up to this, half of the part will be filled with image view. So now I want to add another image view. Then you have to start your another image view with exposition of 200, because here your content size is double, your content width is double for the frame width, not height. It means your scroll view is horizontally, your scroll view can scroll horizontally. So when you add any content inside for the scroll view, you have to follow based on your content size. So the image view, the first image view is ended with 200, the second image view started origin from 200 0, means from here if you calculate 200, 200 will come at this point. So this is 200 0. So from here the second image view will be placed. For example, this is my second image view. The second image view will start from 200. This is my first image. First image view starts from 0 0. So this is starts from 0 0. This is starts from 200. So then my total content size has filled with two frames. So now one, this is my real area which can be used to display the content. So when I have two frames, if the user is scroll this frame, so first he can able to see this image. If we scroll horizontally, then this frame will be filled with the second image. If I scroll, then the frame will be displayed with 1. So similarly, you can able to display two images in a single scroll view frame. So this is the logic which different from view to scroll view. The scroll view is having a content size, the view won't have any content size. That is the basic difference. So we identify the scroll position like scrolling position. The scrolling position means if the user, when the user is scroll the scroll view, we can identify at what position scrolled. So what position scrolled, so that position will call it like a scrolling position. So for example, this is the scroll when the user is scrolled at 10 pixel. So if the user scroll the scroll view for 10 pixels, then we can say that the scrolling position will be, so horizontally we have, so 10, this is your horizontal, so vertical there is no, so this is your scrolling position. We can identify that your scroll view is scrolled for 10 pixels, so scroll for 10 pixel forward. If I scroll backward, then it can be minus. So minus is like the backward, positive, plus is like a forward scroll. You can identify the position, the scrolled position will call it like a scrolling position. So we can get the scrolling position, and when the user is scrolled, so the scroll will be stopped at position at some point of time. So whenever the scroll is stopped, we can able to identify what position the scrolling is stopped. This, so that we can also identify that. So let's see, there the two image views are added to the scroll view. So forget about what is this content size and all, maximum zoom scale and tag and all. Let's remove this. Let's run the application. Now we can see that now let's see what the scroll view can display. Now we can see how exactly it works. What happened? So this is your image view. So let's see what's happened to this scroll view. So now there is no scroll view. Now let's add the scroll view. Let's create a new application. We'll start from the new project. Let's say, so we have created a scroll view. Let's create one frame for it. Let's say CG rect max 0, 0, 200 by 200. So this is my frame of the image one. So I'm giving the frame for this as well, same 0 by 0. Now I want to make it like a 200 width. So height is 200, just keep your height as 200. So as I said, give a frame for second image view, which start from 200. So now we have two images. Let's add this to self.view. Comment this one. I will tell you how this works. Now we have two images. Just drag those images from our application to this. Now run the app. Now this is one, you can see the scrolling. So this is now horizontally scrolling. Let's say the scroll view, make keep that to center. Now you can see that scroll view is horizontal scrolling. There is no vertical scroll here. So horizontal scroll, because the content width is double for the frame width. So if my content height is double from the frame height, then I can see a vertical scroll as well. Now this view is horizontally moved. The scroll view can be scrolled vertically, can be scrolled horizontally. But we added two image views horizontal. So if you scroll horizontally, you can see that images within the same frame. Within the same frame, we can able to see the different views. So just because of the reason of this content size, let's say the width is 200, we mentioned height is doubled. So now it is a vertical scroll view. You can scroll vertically. If you try to scroll horizontally, then the scroll is never works horizontal here, because the content width is equal to your frame width. Since this image view 1 is start from 200, the scroll view is not able to scroll horizontally, so this image view 1 is not visible. So if we attach this to vertical, since it is having a vertical scroll, now I started the image view frame, Y position is from 200. So now I can see this second view in vertical mode. So this we have to manage. Either you need to display the data in a vertical mode or horizontal mode. If horizontal mode, then you have to keep all the subviews as per your content size. So the property content size is gives the difference from a scroll view to UI view. So if the developer wants to monitor the scrolling, so now if see there are let's say content height is 5 times of the frame. Now we displayed, let's add two more, 2 and 3. Now give this as 400, view this as 600. Now add two more image views. Now there is a 5 frames, means there is 5 times the content size is 5 times for the frame. Now what happened? So just keep this is as a 200. This start from 400. So this start from 600. Now we specified the frames how we want. So, and we specified the width and height is 200 by 200. So this starts from 200, this starts from 400 to 200, this starts from 600 to 200 width and 200 height. So let's keep these two as this one. Now we can see how the images works in scroll view. Now you can able to see the 5 frames. 4 images we added and last one we have not added. So if I scroll fast, based on the acceleration which we apply on this scroll view, the scroll will happen. So the distance will be traveled based on the force. But if you want to scroll page by page, in the sense frame by frame, then we have an inbuilt feature to do that. Just enable the paging. If you enable the paging, at a time, even if you apply, even if you forcefully scroll the scroll view, it scroll only one frame at a time. If you apply a property paging enabled. Now I want to, if we want to monitor the events of a scroll view, so we can override the scroll view delegate protocol. So scroll view delegate protocol, let's create a delegate protocol. So there is a method called scroll view did scroll. So whenever the scroll was done, so this method will get fired. So we have a property called scroll view offset, which gives a content offset, which gives where the scroll position. As I said, what is the scroll position? The scroll position you can get with the content offset. So content offset means, so if this is my scroll view, so now I move 10 pixel up, so my content offset is 10. So vertical I'm moving, so 0 10 is my content offset. So similarly you can get your content offset. When we scroll, now we can able to see that where the scrolling, now you can see this is your content offset. So this is where I'm moving, just I'm scrolling that where I'm currently. So currently where the scroll position was moved, so this scroll position is which comes at this origin of the frame. So whatever the origin of the frame currently the content size is having, that position will call like a content offset position. So now it is 0 and 400. Now if you move, now it is 0 800 400 200. Now it is 0 0. You can, now it's moving for negative. Now you can see that how it happens. If you want to add some view, you can add it still. So now I want to add one more image view at a position of something -10, give some 20, let's make it 50 50. image view 0. So this I added at initial position. Now let's add that image view. So you can add at any time. So based on the frame it will get displayed, not based on the order. It's based on the subview frame. Now you can see, so minus, if I scroll, if I pull down, if you pull down a scroll view, you can able to see it's moved minus 19, minus 90 pixel. It scrolled down for up to minus 90 pixel. So you can able to see that, which is attached as a negative point. So this functionality will call it like a pull to refresh. Sometimes we'll call like pull down. When you pull down, when it moves for negative points, then we can able to use that. So you might have seen some certain applications, when the user is pulled down the scroll view, they show one activity indicator. So which I explained yesterday, activity indicator, you can use it. So instead of image view, you can attach the activity indicator here, so that we can able to display the activity indicator when the scroll view is pulled down. So for example, instead of image view, I would like to add one activity indicator. You can add it. So we know that in it with activity indicator style, use the style white large. This is my activity indicator. So now give the frame. So giving this frame. So give it active, start animating. Just give some background color, active, set background color, give color gray. So now, so that we can able to see. So attach this. If you pull down the scroll view, we can able to see that. So this is where sometimes in most of the applications we see that. So if the user scroll down, so pull down the scroll view, they will display one scroll view and like activity indicator, which displays like there is some data is refreshing from the server for this scroll view. So something like that you can attach, you can apply different concepts together. We can able to see the different look and feel. So this is about the scroll view. So you can see that how the scroll view offset is displayed. The similarly, the scroll view is having certain methods which gives you the zooming option. So for example, let's say this is my 200 position, this is with, let's replace the 200 with 400. Or so now we can see there is some big frame. So you can see that the frame size is become big now. Maybe that you have to adjust 0 400, and this should be 800, and this should be 1200, so that we can able to see. So this is the one way of scroll view presentation. So now I want to add one phaser, so which gives you paging, so where we are. So or else just add a zooming for the scroll view subviews. Set maximum zoom scale is 4, the minimum zoom scale is always 1. Given the minimum zoom scale is always 1, the minimum zoom scale is 1 and maximum zoom scale is 4. So you can, so in order to give this feature, you have to override one of the method. Scroll view should scroll up, that is already there. UI view Now we have there is a method called did zoom scroll did zoom. Do you want to zoom it or not? Like this will be done. There is one method, or else you can use like view for zoom view. So there is a method called view for zoom view. So you can, if we override this method which gives the notification when something was zoomed, so you needs to provide which object needs to be zoomed at here. So for example, I gave this image 3. Yes, you can retrieve what is there in the zoom view, so that we can from the scroll view, or else from the offset you have to identify which position you are. So you know your scroll view content offset, so you know the content size. If the content size is divided by your content offset, you will get the content offset by, so you will get the frame in which page you are, or in which frame you are. It gives you your frame. So based on that you can fetch the subview. So it's nothing but your subview object. You can say that subviews object at index page. So this is the one view I'm giving. So whatever the subview is presented on that specific position, so that will get zoomed. So now if we zoom this, now you can able to see that this image view is get zoomed. Minimum is 1, maximum 5 times. So once the zoom was done, then you have to reset your zoom, or else it won't work. Once the zoom was done, then you have to identify. So there is a one more method which scroll view gives whenever the zoom was finished, didn't zoom. So once the zoom was ended, so you can able to identify, so what's the view is used for zooming, and what's the scale, how much, so what percentage of zooming is applied, what percent of zoom applied, you can able to identify with scroll did and zooming method. So whenever it comes to that, you can able to reset your scroll view. So you know that scroll view set content size, so you can make it like the same whatever is there. So this we applied as it is. So whenever the scroll was finished zooming, so because once the zoom was done, then you need to reset the frame of scroll view. So zoom was done, so like, so you can reset. So if you reset, you can able to scroll, but the view whatever you zoomed, that is at the same position. So if you want to zoom, let's make it normal, then you can do it. So you can get the scaling position, how much you scaled. So we can see that what is the scale, 1. So 100%. So your scroll is already is working, so even if your zoom was done. So whenever you do this, you need to handle these things. So in order to handle these kind of events, So you should know what are the delegate methods which scroll view delegate provides. So these methods will notifies when the certain event done on the scroll view. So this will be notified when scroll is done. This will be notified when zoom is applied. This will be notified once the zoom is done. So you can able to do these things. And similarly, we have one more method called scroll view did and before acceleration, or before it's coming to stop. Before, whenever the scroll view is ready to stop scrolling, so this method will fire. This method will notifies when the scroll view is ready to stop scrolling. Ready to stop scrolling. In the sense, so now this method is fired. When I remove the scroll from the scroll view, this method is fired. So you can able to identify when it's your scroll view is ready to stop. Begin deacceleration. So begin deacceleration means whenever it is ready to stop the acceleration. So instead of you are moving, when you're stopping that move, we can able to identify that. So these are the certain methods of UI scroll view delegate through which we can able to get the scroll view position, scrolling position, and as well as we can apply a zooming on a scroll view subviews, and you can able to identify a notification before the scroll starts or stops. And there is a another called page control. So this is one of the view UI view subclass. So UI page controller, so you can define with a frame. So as per the principle which you know, give frame is starts from 00400, and 0 starts with 400, and width is 400, and height gives some 50. So this I am mentioning the frame. So now add this to self dot view page control. So and provide the page control with number of pages. Set number of pages are 5 in my scroll view. So I am giving the page control as 5. Now we can able to see, give this page control set background, view color red color. So now you can see that if I tap, so this is kind of one of the view which you might have seen in different applications. So these kind of indicators, this indicator will call it like a UI page controller. So here I mentioned my frame is 400, but the frame is 400. The scroll view is where it started. I provided the center. From the center it's take, the height is 200. So give that center plus 200. Center dot y. Now you can see this is the bottom of your scroll view. So now you can attach the position change of a page indicator when the user change the page from the scroll view. So how to do it? Just give the tag value to identify the page control object from the self.view subviews. So whenever the scroll happens, so I usually find that page number. So when the scroll was done, so up to get this page controller at here, from the view, apply view with tag. The tag, we know that it's 200. So we got the 200 tag, and now we adding this pace control, pace, current pace. You can set a current pace in the sense that is a selected dot. We can see that is our current pace. Give the pace number which the calculated, which gives the current pace number. Now it's crashed. Come to this. View tag is 200. The 200 is already binded with some other view. Let's see. So the pace is 0. Current pace I'm giving 0. Let's give gray color. We can identify something. So now you can see that dots, 4 dots. When I moved, I'm changing the pace control. Now you can identify where we are. This is first pace, second pace, third pace, fourth pace, fifth pace. So it is a meaningful user presentation. The user can easily understand on which pace the scroll is. So UI pace control is a different API class, UI scroll view is a different API, but with the help of UI scroll view delegate methods, we are able to monitor the scrolling position, and that is represented with UI page controller in a good manner. So that's where like you can able to combine two UI kit API classes to give a meaningful user interface for your mobile apps. So this is the way of the page controller and scroll view works in iOS.